sacrifices they have made of you, warehoused like rotting pieces of meat. Tell me, is this the better way? I'm sure you've had time to reflect upon it. What you need to understand is that I don't care about the game. I don't care about the rules. I don't even care about these pathetic souls you keep locked away as a barrier to the prize. Which one is Connor McLeod?
We're watchers, not cops. Welcome to the Highlander Rewatch podcast, where each and every week we talk about another facet of the Highlander universe. I'm one of your rewatchers. I'm Keith.
This is Kyle.
This is Eamon. Defund the Watchers.
Oh no, defund the watchers. How would you like to see their tasks divvied up between some other social services?
I don't know. Maybe just like people that actually do their jobs, unlike the Watchers.
Right?
Yeah, the Watchers don't do a lot of watching.
Yeah,
they've mostly been screwing around shooting people, it would seem.
Yeah, that seems to be like their thing for the most part. I mean, I think they've really gone downhill since they lost VMOS, personally.
That's right. He gave them so much security.
Yeah, that was the reason. Security was the reason.
Yes, it was.
and Shapiro.
I'm sorry, what?
Shapiro, he's gone too.
That's right. Kyle thought you said Ben Shapiro, didn't you?
I definitely did, and I was like,
Ben Shapiro.
Looking forward to how this one gets tied up.
That's right. And Shapiro was was he the head that put Joe on trial?
Yep.
Look at this. I also think we should congratulate ourselves. We are a minute into this podcast, and we're actually talking about Highlander.
This might be some kind of record.
It's a miracle. Usually we're off on some tangent already.
But in fairness, it's a Highlander tangent to distract us from talking about this Highlander.
That's right.
Which I think we're all cagey about doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is our fourth episode so far covering Endgame. Before we started recording, we were just discussing how many episodes did we think this podcast series would be. Eamon, how many do you think it'll be? At this point, I think before we started, we said 5.
Is this really number 4?
Uh-huh.
That counts the trailer, though.
That does count the trailer.
So
that's like an hour long.
That's true. But this is really the third one about the movie proper.
Correct, yes.
Movie proper.
Okay.
Movie proper.
I'll say 8 episodes.
8 episodes, right? Okay.
I carved out the position early. Lucky number 11 is what we're going for.
Because I
What
know
a movie.
What a fragile mental state this movie puts me in. I'll agree with you, Eamon. Like it could be 8 to 10. If this was 10, I'd be like, sure. And one of those episodes is me just crying. It's for like 45
I think all of our listeners at home are crying thinking about what we're going to be talking about for 10 episodes. But
that's right.
The same man.
That's right. All right. Well, before we jump into stuff, we're going to start the episode with a little bit of reader mail. And so we got some messages this week, actually pertaining to Highlander Endgame. So we thought we'd read those to kick off the show. The first comes from one of our patrons, and this comes from James R. And he says, "Hi, Rewatchers. A quick note about Jacob Kell's shoes. I've never seen this confirmed anywhere, but I've always had the suspicion that Kell's shoes were inspired by those of Huck Finn's father. Huck's father had 2 nails bent into the shape of a cross embedded into the heel of his boot as a means to ward off the devil. Another possible reference is a quote that is often attributed to Martin Luther, which reads, 'The Christian shoemaker does his Christian duty not by putting little crosses on his shoes, but by making good shoes, because God is interested in good craftsmanship.' Perhaps this is the filmmaker's way of showing us how misguided Kell really is. Or maybe it's just a cool visual, and that's about as deep as they got. Keep up the great work, guys, and don't lose your heads.
Oh, that's interesting. I like that quote.
Yeah, that is a good quote. How about that?
I don't know how cool little crosses on your heels are, but
yeah, I mean, I'm inclined. I think it's pretty cool that you are able to make that connection to Huck Finn. That seems cool, and that's a cool part of that story. I'm not sure if I think that's really part of this character. I'm more inclined just to think it's a visual cue. What do you guys think?
I am also more inclined to think it's just a visual cue. But if you search for cross or shoe with crosses in the heel, you find a bunch of like stilettos in which the point is a cross.
Ooh. Oh, interesting.
Which looks insane. Like only an insane person would wear that.
Yeah, I can't imagine walking around in a stiletto. That seems really difficult. And I think I would break both my ankles very quickly because I fall down constantly. So
that's true. You actually do fall down a lot.
I do fall down a lot. So that's just wearing shoes. So regular old sneaks.
So you're not going to be on Project Runway anytime soon?
I don't think so.
I mean, he could be a judge.
Yeah. Maybe Project Walkway. I don't know if I'm running.
Project Walkway.
Yeah, what do you guys think about that? You know how you park in a driveway, but wait, hold on. I'll leave the show now. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
You park in a driveway.
And you walk on a runway? Guys.
What?
All right, we got another email here from our friend David G. He says, this is gonna get rough, guys. Damn it, Kyle. Kirk did die alone. This is in reference to Kyle's comments on Star Trek Generations.
I don't think that's accurate, but keep going.
I agree with you, Kyle. I'm on board. Kirk does not die alone, and it is a problem. Anyway, he says he died without his crew. He died outside of his Enterprise. Yes, Picard was present. Very definition of not alone, right?
Hang on. Yes, the other most beloved character in Star Trek history was there with him when he died.
But they had no real relationship. Learn to love Kyle. Learn to know what it means to be alone in a room full of people. Let that heart that's 3 sizes too small grow. Be like Keith. He's been a warrior, a lover, and a wanderer. That's very nice. All right.
That is true, actually. We're never giving you enough credit for your work as, I mean, we're always touting you as a lover, but never as a warrior and a wanderer, and that's our fault.
I got that wandering down.
Yeah.
It's like Kane from Kung Fu.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
He walks the earth.
Do you guys think there's a difference between wandering and wandering?
Yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
There's absolutely like a difference. Like they're the same word, but like they mean 2 very different things, right?
1,000%.
Very good.
One you wear an ascot and one you don't.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll die on that hill.
Okay. David continues. He says, I first saw the Endgame trailer before the X-Men movie. And actually, I'm really glad he brought that up because that was something I was thinking about. I meant to look up or ask the the listeners out there, like, when did this trailer air? Like, what movies would you have seen to see the Endgame trailer? So X-Men, great.
Hugh Jackman's X-Men. All right.
That's right.
Directed by accused pedophile Bryan Singer.
That's correct.
Alleged
nightmare on set. He says, I was both
director of Bohemian Rhapsody, the Queen movie.
Yeah, we love that movie, don't we?
Great.
What about Jack the Giant Slayer or whatever?
So good.
No one ever talks about that. That's a Bryan Singer movie. How about that?
I've never seen that movie.
Yep, that and Valkyrie.
I never talk about it.
Nope. Good.
Valkyrie.
Now we're just naming Bryan Singer movies, huh?
X-Men 2, X2, X-Men United.
X-Men United.
But not X3. That was a Brent Ratner travesty.
Another sex pest.
That's right. Okay. He says, I was both elated and confused. Thrilled to see my Highlander, Connor, teamed yet again with Duncan. And then I saw the magic bits. Bruce Payne splitting in 2, suspending a sword in midair, Connor and Duncan jumping through a portal, Connor screaming in pain inside a glass ball. Awful, just awful. Glad that didn't make it into the movie. And now he comments on the first part of Endgame. He says, I understand your reservations over the use of a crew different than the one of the series. I do wish the movie had used a regular director from the TV show, but I digress. Looking forward to seeing where the show goes and with the remainder of the movie. I mean, you guys did what? 4 minutes of it? Yes, our I guess second episode.
Did we even do 4 minutes?
It's crazy how little of the movie we were able to get into.
And actually, fair point. Has our second episode, as we are recording this right now, has the second episode we recorded last time aired yet?
It is not. So episode 3
Okay.
has not come out yet.
So as we record now, people have only seen like 4 minutes of our coverage of
Correct,
this movie.
right,
So
right.
perfect. All
And
right,
we're buckling
awesome.
in for hours of talk about this movie.
Yeah.
Is there a director? David brings up a good point. Would have been nice to see a TV show director on this film. Is there a director you guys would have liked to have seen?
It's hard to argue with Richard Martin.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
Who
Not
else
that
we got? We
not
got
that I think the your comment about the crew piece. I don't know that. I feel like that is least applicable to the director.
Okay,
Of
yeah.
everyone.
Mhm.
Of everyone involved in the process, though it's very applicable, I think, to most other people.
Yeah, Richard Martin would be a good pick. Also, I just think it's like a bummer. Like, it feels like, I don't know, like this is a great transition into making movies, right? Like transitioning from TV into like using that property and all the skills you developed on it, and then just like segueing that into a motion picture. Seems like a great start for any director. And it's a bummer that they didn't like reward the directors on the series by giving them that.
Yeah. Here's a weird thing that.
Yeah.
Did you guys know Jonathan Frakes directed Star Trek Generations?
He did.
Yes.
He directed. Did he direct all the the TNG movies?
I thought he directed Insurrection.
He did First Contact.
Or is that what am I thinking of?
He definitely did
do
First
Generations.
Contact. I
First
don't
Contact?
remember about Generations. Sorry.
God damn it.
But
well,
he picks up like
was
the mantle from Mr. Leonard Nimoy, who also directed many of the Star Trek pictures. Star Trek pictures? What am I talking about? This is the
Star
40s,
Trek
guys. Let's go to
pictures.
the pictures.
Hey. Yeah,
I do love Jonathan Frakes, and he's like,
Frakes is great.
and like, I don't know, his character on TNG is so very good, even though it's like probably the most generic of all the characters in it. Like
True.
of all the main characters, like he doesn't really have a thing. He's just a dude.
Yeah.
But it's still wonderful.
Yeah, he's great. I've been doing a TNG rewatch, and I just watched the episode where he gets addicted to like a VR game on Rise of 4.
Oh
and
God.
it is the most insane, but it's also the one where like Wesley and Ashley Judd have like their own episode together. So that's great.
Wesley Crusher?
That's right. What did I just say? Did I say Wesley Judd? Ashley
No.
Judd, Wesley Crusher.
You said something Judd.
Sure.
Wesley
Ashley Judd. Ashley Judd.
Ashley Judd.
I can't even talk. Ashley.
So he directed, to be clear, he directed both Insurrection and First Contact.
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
When I saw he directed First Contact, I said Generations. I meant First Contact. I was like, what? I didn't know.
Along with 8 episodes of TNG, 3 episodes of DS9, 3 episodes of Voyager. I didn't know he had done like 6 episodes of Discovery as well.
Yeah.
Like he stays busy.
Yeah.
He like does a lot of directing. It's good for him.
Yeah. Yeah, he did that episode on the series where the ship gets like broken up into different pieces, or the crew gets broken up. Like the people are stuck on the bridge. There's people stuck in engineering or whatever. That's a great. Oh, and Picard's in the elevator with the kids. Got a kid.
Oh,
subplot.
that's right.
Yeah.
They love sticking him with kids. Anyway,
I'm sorry,
Highlander.
elevator turbo shaft. Excuse me, guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna get more emails.
Yep.
Fiction.
Is it even? Did I just
Never
call it
happened.
turbo shaft?
You did.
That's what
Turbo
you said.
lift.
Turbo
Shaft.
Starring
Guys,
Aemon.
well,
That's
we
the
managed
title
to
of
do
his
it.
sex tape.
We got off track, and now we're talking
Turbo
about Star Trek.
Shaft.
So it worked.
Yes.
All right, Eamon and Kyle. Why don't you give me? Actually, what do we want to play the catalog game first, or do we want to give a recap of what's happened so far in the movie?
Let's catalog game, then
and then
recap.
the recap. All right, I love it.
I love it.
I love it. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to play the catalog game, and I'm going to read an item out of the catalog, and Kyle and Eamon are going to do their best to try to guess within 20% what the actual retail price of that item is. If they guess within that range, they get to give their opinion first and win my respect for the rest of the episode. Are you guys ready to play?
Yes.
Let's do it.
Okay, here we go. Ba-boom. Today, we're going to be talking about the Sword Watches. And once again, we're reading out of the 1996 catalog, which is a catalog we have not visited too much. So some of the items are the same. The style of the catalog is very different than other catalogs. So you guys ready?
Yeah.
Oh boy. So for anyone who can't see these watches, these are deeply confusing looking.
Oh, really?
It's very hard to know. I guess the hilts of the sword there. It's a watch with swords going around the radius. I guess to be the different numbers.
Right.
But it's very difficult to tell where it's actually supposed to be marking the number.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like, because the swords are like curved, so it's very difficult to tell. Also, I think there's only 11 swords.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes.
There's only 11 swords.
The 6 o'clock is just the Highlander logo.
Yeah, like you just like the swords actually I think make it harder to tell the time.
Interesting.
You'd be better off with a blank face if you were trying to accurately determine what time it was.
Interesting.
Anyway, that's
do you think you could at least guess, Kyle? You think you have a rough idea what time it was if you had this watch?
I mean,
or if somebody like stopped you on the street was like, "Hey, what time is it?" You looked at this watch, you'd be like, "I don't know. I'm sorry."
I had to go. I go. Forgive me, for I am a dummy.
Oh, okay.
But anyway,
here we go. All right.
These
sword watches. The MacLeod katana sword points heavenward to herald the start of each new revolution of the earth.
The what sword? Which sword does it say?
The MacLeod katana.
That is not a katana.
Oh, and you're right. That is not the MacLeod katana pointing heavenward, is it?
If they mean the 12 o'clock, that is definitively not it. They are mistaken.
Yeah, no, that's
Also, it's not pointing heavenward, it's pointing down.
You're right.
Yeah. First off, the sword is pointing down. Second off, I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be the MacLeod sword, like the Clan MacLeod thing, not a katana. Please
Correct.
Continue.
Okay, very good. We're on sentence 2. Jesus. Let's see. Measure your daily journey as the hours display blades of distinction. Okay.
Okay.
These
Blades
timeless weapons guard each skillfully crafted quartz watch. The larger watch is framed in chrome with a black leather band. The smaller watch is encased in black stainless steel with a black leather band. Warranty provided. There you go.
Well, I have a lot of questions about the warranty, but I'll save them.
Great.
I think I have to guess first.
Go for it.
And as always, we're trying to get as close as we can to the actual retail price. It doesn't matter if we go over, but as long as we are within 20%, we will win. If neither of us are within that, Keith is the winner.
That's right.
All right. So I'm going to guess that they charge $39.99 for these watches.
Okay.
Ooh.
Interesting. Mr. Eamon, what do you think?
I'm going to guess $60.
$60 for a quartz watch, huh?
These are fancy.
These
fancy
are
watches.
fancy. All right.
Fancy quartz.
Well, actual retail price at the time of the black one, not the chrome one, was $26.95.
Oh boy.
Yeah. All right.
The other one was I don't have the other one was $29.95. So just a few dollars more for the chrome finish, right? Today,
so Keith, I think you win.
I do win. Everybody blew it.
Wow.
Everybody blew it. Yep. Sorry, guys.
I just was so taken aback by the quality of these watches. These are a steal.
They are, right?
Also, it looks like there's a devil stick behind them in this picture.
It does look like there's a devil stick. What? I'm looking at
coming to a boardwalk performance near you.
You can't see
watches.
Looking at the catalog for like the art direction in this catalog is really something. Like it's a lot of this like just rocks and stuff, like a desert sort of like scene. It's just rebar. Like it is.
Oh, it's rebar.
Yeah, it is just steel like beams.
Hey, we might have some rebar to talk about in the context of this movie, but maybe not this episode.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So today, this watch would cost you $44.93. The bigger one would be almost $50.
Good God.
A bargain at twice the price.
That's right.
Nope. No, it's not.
Look at that fashionable watch.
That's right.
It's a Rapiera clock.
Very good. All right. So before we jump into our coverage of Highlander Endgame, let's do a quick recap. Where are we in this movie besides like 7 minutes into it?
So Connor has to run a secret errand, and then his antique shop explodes with Rachel in it.
Yep.
And presumably she is dead.
Yeah.
Killed by a man in a bowler hat, we later learn is Jacob Kell through a flashback in which the people of Connor's village burned his mother alive and then she exploded. And in the process, Connor killed Jacob Kell's father, who was a priest.
Right. And that's it.
Connor killed Jacob Kell, and it was revealed, or I guess maybe not yet, that he was an immortal.
Right.
Yes.
So there we go. That's what we know. Those are the players on the board thus far. Great. All right, so let's jump back into the movie. We now cut to the sanctuary, right? Because I guess we had gotten a title card at some point previous to a flashback, right?
Yes.
And so we get this Connor voiceover, and he says, "My endless days are filled with memories of the past and the death of my mother" by Jacob Kell. No one else is mentioned.
Also, that's inaccurate. Why does he attribute the death of his mother to Jacob Kell? I don't know. He seemed like the least morally culpable person in that whole scenario.
Yeah,
the priest seemed more responsible.
The goons who came and harassed him and then told him his mother would burn. Jacob Kell's father who actually pronounced like the sentence and burned her alive. Like, I don't know. Why does he call out Jacob Kell? Just saying.
I mean, I guess perhaps like if him and his father are priests, they maybe led the sort of suspicions that like, oh, maybe it's a demon, right? Like
A demon.
you know, they were perhaps rabble rousers or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's a subtle point, but
Sure. But I already got a question because I don't know how long it's gonna take us to get through the scene. Maybe hours, but I know I mentioned this a little bit last episode. He's like, my memories are filled with like the death of my mother. Like, wait, is he thinking this currently? Like, how is this voiceover happening? Right? Is this like a narrator retelling the story? Right? But also, like, isn't the whole point of going to the sanctuary because like my life is depressing and sad and I hate living, so put me in a coma where I can still think about all the sad and depressing things?
yeah, like, is he supposed to be in a coma? I'm a little unclear on what state he is being maintained in.
Right.
He's obviously having, based on this voiceover, he's obviously having thoughts.
Yeah. Well, then, like, later when they, like, open their eye masks, they, like, wake up right away. Like,
I don't know, man. Oof.
it doesn't seem like they're in a coma. I don't know if
No.
it's an immortal thing or what, but
There's appear to be like IVs pumping them with drugs 24/7 or something.
yeah.
So I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah.
Because like, as you say, Keith, if your point was to escape your depression, being in a literal isolation chamber probably isn't the best way to get undepressed.
Right. This is like the opposite of it. Like you are being trapped with your depressing thoughts. Like this isn't good.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So we get these dudes are all dressed up like monks, like weird future monks. I'm like, who are these bozos? Right. And then we get like some motorcycles revving, and it's like, and just people show up, right? Like the circus, the literal circus has come to town.
Yeah, the world's dumbest motorcycle gang shows up. They all have these absurd helmets on. Like their helmets are nuts.
These are
yes, like that.
These are like Mad Max outfits.
Yes.
Like I hate
this. Kyle, you're just like, ugh. Like what?
He looks like if the game Minesweeper came alive. Like,
yes.
What is this?
It's crazy. He has like a chain necklace. This is the character Cracker Bob.
Good news about this character. If you're watching the theatrical release, he will never speak.
That's crazy.
So you have that to look forward to.
Oh my god. All right, I'm gonna stop sharing this picture. Yikes.
But they're all in outfits like this.
Right. And
each dumber than the last.
Yeah. And like this, like are they going for like a four horseman thing?
I think they must be, right?
1,000% yes.
But it's just like what planet is this part of the movie taking place in? Like the monks in the weird like sci-fi monk robes.
Yeah, like why does it have this aesthetic? Like it doesn't feel connected to reality at all. Like yeah, or weird. They're like a Clockwork Orange sort of gang or something, right? Like it's really strange. Yeah, I mean, like, and the idea of like having a gang of immortals seems like maybe an okay thing, right? But like
Sure.
they
Yeah.
also, but they don't like do anything with it. Like, who are these characters? Like, I don't feel like what's Cracker Bob's deal, right?
Did they ever say his name?
Only
So
in the
it
rough
doesn't
cut,
ma-
I believe,
Yeah,
and much later.
And I think in the theatrical version, I want to say you only know the name Carlos, the fearsome immortal Carlos,
Okay.
and you know Jin K, who is the
same man.
Donnie Yen
Right.
character. Otherwise,
Mhm.
I don't think you know the names of any of these characters in the theatrical cut, at least.
Yeah, no, this is crazy. Like, there's no interesting dynamics amongst the group either. Like, at least like with the four horsemen, right? Like,
Mhm.
there's like you have people like what's his name? Not Silas. Who's the cannibal? Caspian. Like, he's like the wild card, right? Like, he wants to take action. He's like, I got to do violent shit. Like, then maybe Mythos is like the more like intellectual or cerebral sort of villain, right? Like, I don't know, all of them. Like, then we got Silas, who's like the muscle, right, of the group. Like, there's some dynamic set up here with these characters that they can all talk to each other and drama will ensue, right?
Mhm.
But that doesn't happen here. Like, we don't get to see different points of view or like whatever. Anyway, so the monk is just like, oh, like I don't know, he pulls out a shotgun and shoots
This
the
is nuts. This is crazy. So
Winston is
so
what.
three guys roll up in motorcycles at this
Yeah.
point. Only three. And out of nowhere, like magic style, this shotgun just appears. And it is kind of amazing. It's like the ultimate version of like, where do the swords come from? This is even crazier because it's like a like hip length shotgun just appears.
right.
And then I guess one of these guys is supposed to be Jamaican,
Yeah, Winston.
Winston, because he goes, "Take your shot, man,"
Yeah.
and he does.
But he's like, man, you people are hard to find. And he's like, we like to keep it that way. So he's like ADR, the watcher.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
But like, we don't get like any like how'd they find them. Like, we don't get any details. It's just literally like, oh, they show up. Here they are.
I mean, I'm honestly shocked. Like, I don't understand how this isn't like the MacGuffin that drives the film. Like, where is Connor? Like, that, like, we got Mac, who's like, I know I gotta find him. We got Kell, who's like, I want revenge, and I don't know where. Like, how do I take revenge? This is the thing that's been like fueling my like life for 400 years. And I don't know where this guy is to take revenge anymore. I gotta find him. Like, so there's a race, like a ticking time clock to get to the sanctuary. Like, it's just shocking that like they just all just show up here. Like, this should be
It's
the thing
resolved
that's
in-
like, how do we move the plot forward? Finding the map to the sanctuary, or like talking to Joe and Mythos about what is the sanctuary. Like, there's research. There's like that also that way you get to like build in the exposition. Like, yeah, how do we find out where the sanctuary is? Probably through finding out what it is. Like, and then the characters get to like learn about the sanctuary before they get there, and we just see weird like medieval sex toys or whatever this is.
I'm
So,
sorry, what?
like medieval like sex contraptions. I don't know, whatever they're
What
hooked
are
up
the
to.
sex contraptions?
I assume there's something sexual that happens down there.
Oh, okay.
I assume. You guys don't think so?
Oh, sure. That has to
Okay,
be.
good.
Because
Glad
Duncan's
Amazon's-
involved.
That's right. Okay.
But like, yeah, he has the shotgun and he shoots Winston like right away.
Yep.
And then other monks come out with like machine guns
This is crazy.
and just blow them away.
Mhm.
Yes. But then a new challenger approaches
That's right.
A
Jin
with
guy
K-
in
an
a-
equally dumb helmet.
Yeah, it has like a big ponytail.
Right.
So he shows up and is just, I guess he's supposed to be the best, is
Yeah.
I guess
Sure.
what we're supposed to infer from this, as he goes around and houses all of these Watcher monk guys, including by like kicking his dumb helmet at one of them.
Right.
The one thing I want to call out about this is at some point they decide to do like either like some wire foo shit or like pull him on a dolly or
Mhm.
Oh,
something.
right. Yeah.
And it looks so stupid. Like it looks so bad. Like he wants to like back up from something and just like throws his arms out and floats backwards, and it looks insipid.
I like the part where he flips the shotgun and shoots the guy with it.
I guess I like that, but like it's also crazy. Like he gets this guy in some weird hold and puts like a very short shotgun. The shotgun is maybe this long to the guy's neck, and then pulls the trigger. And like he flies away, and there's like a tiny little hole. Like this would have blown the dude's head off.
Yeah,
I mean that's ridiculous. And this movie is already like far too violent. But it's just like it's so bizarre, like how all this stuff was conceived of, and stylistically, like all the wire fu stuff, like. It's suddenly just like a different aesthetic to the movie, like having I don't know, and that's not carried through to the rest of the film, which is weird.
Nope. Yeah, but I think this has to be Donnie Yen's influence.
Oh, sure.
Something. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is it Donnie Yen's influence or them just being like, well, let's make it look like a Donnie Yen thing?
Yeah.
I mean, like, is it just them being like, oh, well, we're doing this kung fu sequence, so like, let's import weird kung fu elements?
Yeah. So there's so many problems with this movie. So did you guys like, there's like all this weird, like the quality of the film or the quality of the daylight changes a lot in this movie. So there's like I want to play this very short clip for you. Just because like I hate it so much. And like here we go. All right. So watch how this changes from like day to night. Okay. I'm so sorry, guys. This is where we are. I think it's this one here.
This is 40.
Oh no, that's not it. There it is. Is that it?
Oh.
All right, here we go.
Right,
Ready,
well,
guys?
there's the monk outfits we've been talking about.
Right. He's got his shotgun
with oddly snug necklines.
Yeah, these are
They're
form
very
fitting.
fashionable.
They look good, right?
Yeah.
Keeping it
They
tight.
look great.
They look great. All right, here we go.
Donnie Yen is dead.
Yeah, at some point he just welcomes death.
Oh, Jacob Kell. Oh, now it's nighttime. Oh,
right. Okay. Okay. So let's go back. Like here, look. So this guy.
It's like daylight.
Where did Jacob Kell come from? Where did
he's been laying on the ground? How long has he been there?
He's been under a blanket, and they put some leaves like over the blanket.
Where did he get the robe?
These people all rolled up in motorcycles like 2 seconds ago. Where and how did he get there? How long has he been there?
Jacob Kell was undercover monk.
Yep.
That it does actually kind of seem that way. Like, why else does he have this outfit?
It would be nice if that was like covered in a plot point.
Sure. And then now it's nighttime. Now it's nighttime, right? What? Then it's daytime. Ooh. Now it's nighttime.
Wait, can we talk about this for a second?
We have to talk about the way this guy shoots his gun. Here we go.
Yes. Boom, sideways.
He holds it sideways for one shot.
Execution style.
Yeah, maybe he wouldn't have missed if he had done that.
What? Also, is the building on fire? Why is it so bright on the inside?
So yeah, but these weird like vases with like flames in them is weird.
Boom. All right, so then Kell does this like disappearing act.
On fire on the inside.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. So then Kell does this disappearing act, right? And I do want to call this out. So like he shoots at Kell, who's right there. Kell ducks behind the pillar and is now gone.
Ooh,
interesting.
Magic.
So is he magical? I'm calling that out now because I think it's relevant later. Weird, right? And then, we got to play this too. So then Kell sneaks up on this guy and cuts his leg off. And again, for everyone listening in the podcast format, remember there is a video version on our Facebook and it's also now on YouTube. So we encourage everybody out there to go check those out so you can see the clips we're playing. We'll do our best to describe them though.
And you can look at our ugly faces.
That's right. And
so
then,
Kell is
like, did he hide or did he just lay down?
Why does he hit him in the ankle?
Yeah.
What?
And also the way he's holding his gun, like he looks like he has T-Rex arms. He's like,
ah! And he shoots it up.
Yeah. Sound goes.
Okay.
Dangerous.
So good. Also, like crouching that low with that giant sword and like cutting.
You can't swing it.
That doesn't make. Yeah. That
it makes
like
no sense.
Yeah.
No,
This is great. I love
this
it.
is great. Also, I do want to play. So in the alt cut, there is a different version of this scene that, of course, is more violent. So here we
Now,
go.
when you say the alt cut, which one do you mean? The
I'm sorry,
producer's
the alt cut. This is the rough cut that is included on the
Rough
DVD.
Highlander.
All right, here we go.
Endgame. So Jinkei is dead.
Right.
Take their heads! Hurry!
Take their heads.
Headhunting can be a dangerous sport.
Okay, so we got to stop because in this version, Kell does not just get up off the ground. He's there. Right.
emerges.
Whoa, from the murky depths.
Good gravy.
Oh, he snapped the twig. Endgame. Oh, shit.
So for the people at home, main difference here is that it showed that guy's severed leg for some reason. Also, it looks like his leg has already been rotting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It looks
it's
like
not
a zombie leg. He had,
This is crazy.
He had diabetes. Now that's awesome.
But what's that? What did he just do? What
I
was
don't
all
know.
that? What was all the razzmatazz?
Oh, he
what?
fucking flipped his sword around, Keith. Duh.
What? What's
Oh, he
that
cut
move?
him.
What?
He cut him.
Yeah, that was so odd.
He
Huh.
just like hits him on the back with the sword. It looks like.
A lot of, as you say, a lot of razzmatazz.
Yeah,
Excuse me. He's being badass.
he is. Okay. But once again, like, I don't know the way this movie's edited. Like, why did they take just the like they didn't have enough time to show Kell come from around the corner? Again,
No.
as a byproduct of that, we're like, what the fuck is happening? How does a character just like appear off
Give
the
his money.
ground?
Like, you know, there's a problem with whatever you're watching when like you can't figure out where you are in space and like how
Yeah.
things are moving around. Like, because even when you're not analyzing it the way we are, like it's just confusing. Like,
Yes.
it's just jarring. Like, even if you don't go beat by beat through it, you're just like, huh?
My favorite character in this movie is the sideways gun monk.
I mean,
That's
a lot of
so
character
crazy.
development there.
He's like, googoosh.
Also, like, this building looks like it's all blown out, right? Like
Yep.
like
Yeah.
it doesn't even look like there's an inside. Like, this is a hollow, empty place. So I don't understand. Like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it looks like a cool location, but like,
Oh, it's very cool.
very cool, right?
I want to go to Romania and find this place.
All right. Well, we
I,
can.
I do kind of like the part where Donnie Yen kicks his dumb helmet. Do we not like that part? Or what do
Oh,
we think of that?
I like it in a vacuum.
Yeah.
I think it's my thing. Like, it's an okay visual.
Yeah.
Also, Donnie Yen, like, he's obviously has a lot of chops. Like, and I think that this movie shows it well enough.
Sure.
You know,
Did you notice
like,
one part of the helmet like falls off? Like when he like a piece of it like
it just
flies
comes
off.
Comes apart.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a cheap prop.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just,
So when you kick
these-
this plastic helmet,
yeah. And just these costumes are terrible. Like
They're awful.
they're really
Truly.
bad.
why make them look like why not just put monk robes on them? Why does it have to be this like future monk looking? Like, I just don't understand the decisions made in this film. Wow. Okay, so Kell at this point, who like, is this supposed to show how powerful Kell is, that like all the goons get taken out and then just Kell rolls up, he's like, I got it, all you guys get up now?
Yeah.
I guess.
Does he
maybe.
really need them? I don't know. I wonder
Doesn't
that.
seem like it.
That is a persistent note in my thing in my notes is goons are pointless.
Yes, they are pointless. All right, so now we actually get to like cut inside the sanctuary, right?
Which is just like a dirty room.
A dirty room, a dirty giant room.
It's
Yeah.
enormous. It is so big.
This
It's a-
place is a salt mine, apparently. I think it looks pretty cool, although I don't like understand. There's like no establishing shots. Like, we are just like, we're outside a mansion, and then it just cuts into inside like a cavern, and it's like,
Yeah.
whoa, like, where is this? Like, do we go underground? Like, I feel like this movie just doesn't do enough to set up like the space we're in, and like also like I want to be on a journey, you know, in the movie. Like, take me into the labyrinth that holds Connor McLeod. Like, here's our hero finally. He's trapped away, buried under the earth. Like, I want to be part of like finding him. And the movie doesn't let us do that. It's just like, here we are in this big ugly room with no establishing shots. Like, I don't feel like this like looks particularly grand either, the way they shoot it. Like, there's not a lot of shots in the
No.
sanctuary. Like, it doesn't feel like this big majestic place, which
Mhm.
would be pretty cool, right? Like, I don't know, I'm surprised this isn't like milked for more.
Yeah.
Also, there are only like 6 immortals in the sanctuary. I didn't count them, but like 6 or 8. Like,
Right.
there's not that many, and I'm like, this is just not impressive. There's this like,
See, I honestly I was confused why there's more than one.
yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I
isn't
get
there
that
only-
there's more than one, but there doesn't need to be more than one, right?
Sure,
Right.
that's the thing. It's like you really actually only need one here. So I thought it was an odd decision that they decided that there was 6, but fair enough.
Right.
But they just didn't like use like, they're just in a circle, like in this big empty, like the space is kind of cool, and I'm just like, it's just weird.
It is weird. It's so strange.
Yeah, like
Uh,
also like this doesn't seem like it has the infrastructure to maintain like a constant regimen of drugging these people or whatever.
Right.
It's
Well,
like
that's my other question about how this all works. Like, they show these people and like everybody has like long hair, their nails are all grown out, and I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, these guys run like a shitty old folks home
Yeah.
where they like neglect the people that are under their care. Like,
Mhm.
nobody's there to
That's
like
very
clip their
true.
nails. Like, also, why are they strapped to metal like gurneys? Like, all of this could be accomplished in a bed. Like, I don't understand. Like, why are they hooked up to these weird devices?
Where
yeah, and
does
it does
their
make it
There's
seem
like a
very
tube that goes
sinister.
into their head.
yeah,
Yeah.
where does their doo-doo go?
One of the monks' job is to clean out the mining suit.
Yeah. Yeah, and they have these weird like X-Men costumes.
Right.
Yes.
Now, did you guys check out there's in the alt cut, or I keep saying the alt cut, the rough cut,
The
there is
rough
an
cut.
extended scene here,
Mhm.
and we get to meet
With
a
a guard or like a
Yeah, I think we should play this because
Yeah.
again, like most people, if you don't have the DVD, won't be able to see
Yeah.
this. And you know, since we're all watching stuff via streaming now, it's a little harder to see some of these like alternate takes and stuff. So let's watch this little clip. There is some more details here, which I guess is good? Question mark. Here we go.
Endgame.
This is where you have chosen to evade your destiny.
Who is he talking to?
Sacrifices they have made of you.
Hey,
What?
it's the guy from the Princess Bride, the evil monk guy.
Like, this looks like Highlander 2 right now.
Yeah.
Like, the aesthetic of all of this is Highlander 2.
Reflect upon it.
Cool. Oh, he's asleep.
Which one is Connor McLeod?
What?
And this guy's like in a leather number.
But now it's different.
Would you?
No,
You're right, it's different now.
I don't know.
Need to understand my gimpy friend.
What, he's gimpy?
I don't care about the game.
So they've like
Care about the
Here, so, yeah, tell us, Eamon, what have they
They've-
done? Tell us what they've done.
they've edited this little man out of the movie completely, but they keep some of Kell's dialogue.
Much of it. Like
Yes.
Yeah.
gives this whole evil speech.
But he's just like talking to himself.
Yeah,
Right.
it's pointless.
Yeah.
Like it makes no sense the way it works in the producer's or theatrical cut because he's
Mhm.
speaking to no one, even though the
Mhm.
dialogue assumes a listener.
Right.
Mhm. And then it's like, oh wait, this actually made sense in one version. Like,
Sort of. It doesn't even
Yeah.
really make sense here,
yeah.
but it makes sense in at least that there's a listener.
Yeah. And this poor slovenly night watchman or whatever who was asleep.
And then like where do then the rest of the goons show up? But where do they emerge from? They seem to come from somewhere different than where
Yeah.
Kell came from.
Yeah.
Like
Are we-
Kell descended from above, and they seem to like come up from the basement.
Like
or
the back
something.
entrance.
Yeah.
Keith, can you go back for a minute to where they had the chairs from behind?
Sure. These guys, like they're
Yeah.
hooked. These look like electrical conductors or something.
But go
Yeah.
go up a little, go back a little more. So you see that box there?
This box?
The box to under the chair.
This.
That's
There we
probably where the doo-doo is.
You think that's what that whole machine is for?
Okay, so we're thinking that it has
There's a tube set up to the
Uh-huh.
butthole,
Okay.
and the doo-doo
Okay.
comes from there.
Very
and
good.
they just empty the cabinet every once in a
Yeah,
while.
and then they just pull that out and they dump it out somewhere.
Very
It's not
good.
glamorous being a watcher.
No.
it isn't.
And again, we can call out this. Like, do we think this guy's costume is different in these two shots?
No,
I guess it's
he's
the same.
wearing a leather.
A weird leather coat.
Yeah,
That's
I
like
like this guy though. This guy's my second favorite character.
Like, what is up with this radio? Like,
Yeah.
once again, this feels like Highlander 2 production aesthetic, right? Like,
Yeah.
this bizarre, like, we're in the past, but it's the future. Everything's like dark and grimy. Like, all right, let's
It's
watch
like
the rest
Batman,
of this.
the animated series.
That's
Ooh,
right.
just like that.
Let's watch the rest of the scene.
Ramirez.
I don't really care about these pathetic souls you lock away as a barrier to the prize. Period. Give me Connor McLeod.
Emperor Palpatine?
And I'll leave. And you can go right on pretending that what you do here actually matters.
What?
Good
Is he
God.
wearing a tie? Did he
Yes.
come with a tie?
He did come.
All right,
in
I'm
a
gonna pause
tie.
real quick.
He's
Oh,
dressed for success, baby.
But like what you guys mentioned before, you can see in the end of this clip, Kell had come down some stairs. I'm pointing with my mouse that were all off to the side. Here are the goons that are showing up, and they've come down this giant corridor.
Why not go there?
I don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, yay.
It doesn't. None of it makes sense.
None of
And
it.
he's Kel's just blathering, and nobody I had no idea what the fuck he was talking about.
No,
No.
it's like I guess the only thing we find out here from this dialogue is that he is here looking for Connor, right?
Yes.
So that's like the new information. Like, we don't know why he's breaking in. Now we do. It's to find Connor McLeod. Which one's him? Okay. But also, like, I don't know why he needs to really even ask this question. Like, just start. He doesn't need to know the answer. He kills everybody. Spoiler alert. And like,
Well, I think
also
he's
you
trying
can
to
just flip
avoid-
up all their little visors.
Yeah, he's trying to. I guess when we come to find out, he's trying to avoid killing Connor. He doesn't actually
Right.
want to kill him, but he wants to kill all the other ones. Which, spoiler alert, he does. He just proceeds to go like whip their Cyclops helmets off and then decapitate them all.
Right.
Excellent.
So there's like a quickening here, right? We get some
Mhm.
lightning, all that sort of stuff.
And I suppose at some point, we mentioned this before, but a difference between the versions is that at some point there's a reference to this being holy ground in, I think, the theatrical cut, but in the
Correct.
producer's cut, they edit that line out so
Mhm.
that I guess you're not supposed to think this is holy ground, even though it sure looks like holy ground, right? Maybe the salt.
All the fucking chairs have crosses on them.
Yes. So like, I don't think that edit is successful in making you think that this is not holy ground, but
It only makes sense in terms of the story if it's holy ground. Why would you have we talked about this before, but why would you have a sanctuary not on holy ground?
yes.
Sole purpose was to protect immortals.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
I mean, it's literally
Like,
called the Sanctuary. I mean, come
Yeah.
on, like, it's crazy.
I read online, and I don't know that if this is true, is that they changed that holy ground line because like fans got mad online or something.
They did. Yeah, fans
course they
freaked
did.
out about this. They're
Yeah.
like, what are you doing? Like, why are you changing mythology? And they were like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm very sorry about that. Like, what?
Well, it's like Highlander 2 where they take out all the Zeist shit, which
Yeah.
I don't know.
Very strange. So I kind of like the thing I like about this quickening is it like bursts the pipes. There's these tubes that are connected to these like dumb machines, and they come like shooting off. And there's like, I like the sound design. It almost sounds like the whooshing air coming out of it almost feels like screams, which I kind of dig.
Yeah.
And to me, it also felt like very old school, like Highlander 1 quickening, where like the cars are kind of going off or something. Like it feels less like electric and more, I don't know. It's different.
Yeah, it's good.
So that's okay, I guess. Shrug. But also, what's a quickening? Anyone watching this movie? I don't know. Like, what happens here? Like, if you didn't know what was going on, like, again, the question that looms over much of this movie is, who is this movie for? And I'm just like, huh? Like, they don't tell us what's going on. What like, I don't know.
Yeah, which I guess is true in the original Highlander, because we see a quickening before we learn what one is.
That's
and then
true.
There will be some exposition on this point, very clumsily done in about 20 minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, like, I don't really have a problem with it in Highlander 1, because, like, that's our, like, call to, like, learn about this. It's like, we're giving you a bunch of stuff, and it's going to be, like, captivating or interesting, and now we're going to explain it all. Like, that's the thrust of the movie. I mean,
Right.
half of Highlander 1 is explaining what immortality and the game is. That's not what this is, so.
I think when he cuts that tube that hisses, that's the fart tube that holds the immortals' farts.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Interesting.
And that's what's hissing out.
Right. Also, I do want to make clear, just because, like, if this is the first time we're seeing this movie, I don't know if we've been explicit. Like, who are these monks? We do not know who they are.
Nope.
Like, we just know there's monks, right?
Correct.
Very good. Okay.
So the quickening can be seen outside of this building, and then we get a hard cut to
Bam.
Duncan MacLeod,
London,
doing
baby.
Tai Chi or something.
Yeah.
Can we? I want to watch it, I suppose, because there's a lot of sounds that happen that I love.
That I love.
That I love. So what? Eamon, tell us what's happening in the scene. Duncan's in a park.
So Duncan is in some weird, like, circular park.
Uh-huh.
I guess I shouldn't call it weird, and he's doing.
Yeah, it's a circle. Weird circles.
He's doing a kata, and it's
kata.
getting intercut with these quickening jets.
Yeah.
There he is. That's
There he
kind
is.
of a cool robe.
Yeah.
A lot of robes in this movie.
Dude. Oh.
The Mac is like getting visions now, and it's funny that somebody referred to Kell as Palpatine earlier, because this was the first of many times I wrote my notes just say, "Is this Return of the Jedi?"
Yeah.
Because this movie does really transform immortals into Jedi in some way, in a way that's exceedingly dumb.
Yes.
I am afraid your friends.
I'm afraid the shield will be quite operational when your friends arrive.
Strike me down. Strike me down.
So there's a lot of groaning going on here. I don't know how I feel about all the groaning. I do like
love it.
Adrian's
I love
like
the groaning.
katas and all that stuff. Like, I think that's a cool part of Duncan MacLeod, right? Like, I think that's something that sets him apart from other characters, right? But like,
Yes.
I like this sequence, but it just doesn't make sense. Like, why is he getting visions of all this?
Well, it's not it's not cut together for visual purposes. Like, this isn't like just a creative decision to show these things at the same time. We come to find out that he is having this vision. Like, he is actually seeing this for some reason.
Never explained.
No. So do we think, is this just the movie's shorthand to just be like, we need to find out some way for Duncan to know what happened, and so we just make him see it, and now he can go? Like, because they didn't know how to like get the information to him. Like, what characters can relay this information? Which seems obvious. It's like Mythos or Joe that says like this thing happened. I don't know. Do we mind that he has like a sixth sense about these things? I personally don't. Oh, you do mind. I don't.
Very much.
Okay, talk to me.
Well, also, because, and maybe there's a version of it that's okay, the way this is done here is exceedingly dumb, in my mind.
Okay.
Like the way this ends up playing out, I don't know how far ahead we want to jump, but at some point he goes to speak to Mythos about this, and he says, "Have you ever had dreams so powerful that they could break your meditation?" And I was like, this has to be one of the dumbest lines ever uttered. Also, I don't know much about Mythos other than that he's not a man who meditates.
Right?
Yeah.
No,
So,
like, this
like-
doesn't make any sense.
So, like, odd. Like, all of that is bizarre to me. Um,
Okay.
You know,
See, sorry, good.
and frankly, this can be so much simpler. I think all he needs to I think all that needs to happen is he needs to see something that reminds him of Connor, just in any way. Like he needs to be like see something that reminds him of the antique store, or see something that reminds him of any of the touchstones we have between these two characters, and then he can be like, I should go find him.
Oh,
You know what I
really?
mean? You know what I mean? Like it's not weird that he wants to find Connor. If Connor's
No.
been gone for years, like there's nothing strange about him just kind of looking for that character.
I guess so,
But-
but I would disagree that I think there does need to be some sort of like more pressing impetus. Like you said, why doesn't he just see like an antique store and think like I should really
Or-
find Connor? It's like I guess then I would wonder, wait, why has he not cared for 10 years and all of a sudden it's like, you know what, I better do some more looking.
Yeah,
I get
or-
the impetus if he's like maybe Connor's in danger, so I should really look for him. Like
Better yet, you know what the most obvious version of it is?
I don't know.
One of these goons comes and asks him.
Right.
Like, probably not
Where's
Jacob
Connor
Kell.
McLeod?
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Send one of these dipshit goons to see if Duncan knows who Connor is. And of course, Duncan's Duncan. He can come out okay and be like, wait a minute,
Right.
someone bad is looking for Connor. I should find him first.
That's a good way to tie all this stuff together, right? Yeah, that is
Be
good.
set in motion, right?
Yeah.
But like,
The search for Connor. I honestly don't mind terribly the like Sixth Sense thing. Like I'm okay, like because of like the buzz, they're all drawn to a space. Like I think it's okay that they would be like, oh, I can kind of feel when like my kinsman especially has been like cut down or is in trouble. Like I'm okay. I don't think that's like too nuts though. I can forgive it. Interesting. I do like the idea, Kyle, of a goon coming to confront Duncan though.
yeah, well, you've got
Yeah.
these goons and you do nothing with them in the context of the movie.
Right.
So, you know.
All right, so let's talk about the next scene. So after Mac has this vision, we now cut back to the sanctuary. There's like blood all over the place. I actually thought it was hard to see what's going on. It's like a really far away shot. I'm like, who are these people? What are they doing? And some dude's like, what do we do now? And this smarmy other guy's like, what we always do. We're watchers, not cops. Like, and it's like, oh, these are watchers. Although for me, I'm still trying to like put myself in the position of like seeing this for the first time. I'm still like the monks aren't watchers. These guys investigating it are watchers, but not the monks.
That
Like,
is an inference you could draw.
Right.
Yeah, that makes that was not my assumption, but as you say it, that in a lot of ways makes more sense.
Yeah. I mean, I have no
Right.
reason to think they're the same. They don't dress the same. We don't know anything about this world. And all of a sudden, like we're introduced to the Watchers, which we know from the show. They've never had anything like a sanctuary. Like, I don't know. There's not enough clues here to make me put all this together.
Yeah, I mean, eventually they tie it up and make it clear, and we didn't see any like Watcher tattoos on these monk dudes, right?
No, I don't think
Okay,
so.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, no, it's like they could have put some symbol on their who gives a shit? Like, but there's no way for us to
Anything.
tell what this is.
Yeah.
And then the guy's like, well, what do we do? We got to find another volunteer. And I'm like, volunteer for what? Like, I keep having questions. Every scene, I'm like, what is going on? I don't know.
Yeah,
Also, by the time we hit the kata, by the way, that's 20 minutes into this film. And I wrote at the end of this, I have no idea what's happening. 20 minutes into a movie.
we are only 20 minutes into this movie.
Yeah.
Strike me down.
Also, what's crazy, this scene where the Watchers are investigating this is not in the rough cut. This is skipped.
Yeah.
It doesn't really add a lot to my experience. I'm not gonna lie,
Yeah.
and it's also only 2 seconds long. But
No, it doesn't. No, this scene tells you, one, that those particular characters are Watchers, whatever that means, and we know they need a volunteer. I think that's the only information we can garner from this scene. So
Yeah.
Can we get that in any other way in the movie? Probably would be a better way to do it, but
Nope.
whatever.
This is the best way.
This was the best way. Okay, so now we cut back outside. We're on the city streets of London, and Mac is walking around,
Jolly
And-
good.
and a phone rings. Now, I got a question. Like, I was just like confused. Like, I was like, where are they at first? Like, I wasn't 100% sure, but I think we do see like the London skylines in the background, right? I think.
I don't
Or no?
remember.
Maybe
Maybe.
not, because when
I
Mac
don't know.
picks up the phone, did you guys catch what's in the background? Like some sort of cafe that has just French flags flying.
Mhm.
I assumed he was in Paris.
I don't think it's supposed to be Paris. That's like, again, I was like, I don't know where we are. Like, I think it's supposed to be in England because I know that's also where they filmed. But then I'm seeing like French flags at perhaps a cafe. I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, we know Duncan, both in this movie and from the show, we know that Duncan lives in Paris. So we're supposed to think they're in Paris. And if like the skyline doesn't match.
Very good. So all right, so this phone rings. Mac answers it. What happens? Who's on the other line?
Ooh, we don't know.
We don't know. It's
Some
just a
woman.
blurry reflection, right? More
Whatever
mystery.
you
More
fear
mystery.
about Connor McLeod. Fear the worst.
And I don't think this is in the theatrical cut.
Okay.
I think this is cut from it.
Who is this?
And again, what is the point of this?
I don't know. It
Also-
tells Mac that Connor's in danger, which we already had a scene that told us that,
Yeah.
right?
Wait,
Yeah.
so it's like, so could this be the thing that gets him to look for Connor? Because, you know, not him having a fever dream while doing his kitty cat hand kata.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, like it's just so redundant, right?
And just like, I don't know, just like Occam's razor this thing. Like, if you have a practical way, like a non-magical way of informing him of something, like maybe just use that.
Yeah.
Like,
Also, I mean, I guess at this point, the movie is telling the audience Connor is dead, right? I mean, we see that Kell goes down to the sanctuary. He seemingly murders everyone, and then this woman says, "Whatever you worried about Connor with, it's the worst," which I guess would be dead, right?
yes, I'd think.
Right. So I think us and Duncan are supposed to believe Connor's currently dead. Also, did anyone notice, like, I was very curious about where is everybody, right? So Mac is using like a clearly European style payphone. The woman calling him is calling him from an American payphone. I don't know if anyone caught that. It's not, I want to say it's a subtle difference, but I was like, she's not wherever he is. So I don't know how she knew to call that phone booth, because right after this, then we see that smarmy watcher dude from the previous scene, like at this cafe, and he's like, he's on the move. And so again, I'm thinking that this woman who called him is related to the Watcher, correct?
That
You
would
would
be
think.
one interpretation.
Yeah. Now you guys know why I have 60 pages of notes already on this movie, because I'm like, how does this character know where this character, right? This is crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Also, this is like you said, Kyle, that other scene with the Watchers taking pictures is not. So this is the very first time we would have seen a Watcher in this movie. So, and also, like, we don't know who the Watchers are or what they do. So we're just thrown this, right?
We're just along for the ride, baby.
Yep.
Hmm.
So let me see here. I've got some questions written down. Here's question one. So at the end of every scene, I tried to write some questions. So hopefully I'll read these and it'll be okay. Number one, where is the sanctuary and where does this all take place? Like, so I'm like, the Watcher dude was in the sanctuary in the last scene, and now he's in this cafe. So I assume
Isn't the sanctuary, we come to find out at some point, isn't it like in Connecticut?
maybe, yeah. So that, yeah, right. So I'm very wishy-washy on where all this is. So I said I assume the scene with Mac takes place pretty much right after his kata because he's looking for answers. So how did this guy get so close to Mac? Why is he watching Mac? Is this his normal assignment? Isn't this guy like, I don't know what's going on, but I'm just kind of wondering, right? But I really am curious about the locations of all this stuff. And then, yeah, I guess what do we learn about anything from this scene? I guess that fear the worst about Connor, and which we already do, and that's it, right?
That's it.
So we know nothing. We're introduced to two new characters in the scene: the Watcher in the theatrical cut, and whoever this mysterious woman is on the phone. Yikes!
He's a friend.
Yeah.
And do we find out who the woman is?
I mean, I guess later it's Kate.
It's Kate, but why is Kate telling him?
I don't know. Great. Oh, that's a good question. Why is she doing this?
It's a trap.
It's a trap. Okay. Like, because
Is-
they
okay,
want...
they
that
wanna
makes sense, because
lure-
they want to lure Mac out, because in order for them to exact revenge against Connor, they need to hurt people Connor cares about. So
Right.
Duncan's their target.
But that's not like, it's not spelt out in the movie.
No, it's
Like,
this is rough. Okay. All right. So now the next scene. And so Mac's going up these stairs at some large home, and who does he meet?
He meets a
Mythos.
pink sweater mythos.
That's right. Fully buttoned up.
Look at this. We might actually be able to talk about 2 whole scenes of this movie.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. So Mac comes and visits Mythos. And who is Mythos?
Well, he's like Mac does reveal the exposition that he's like 5,000 years old.
Right, which is good. I'm glad they like give us some bit of dialogue to tell us like who this person is, right? Like why should we care that Mac is talking to this guy?
Yeah.
Right?
So he's like, do you ever have nightmares?
Yes, this is the line I called out earlier.
Yeah.
Nightmare's
Like-
so bad it's powerful enough to break your meditation. Jedi stuff.
I got a question about it. You know, when you're meditating, you're not asleep, right? So like
Yeah.
you don't have a nightmare.
Yeah,
like,
you have like a vision.
Yeah, having a like I once it's just like it's the stupidest fucking
daydream?
shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
It's all mixed. This is all mixed up. It's all, yeah.
yeah. So, and of course, as you pointed out, Kyle, that Mythos does not seem like the meditate. Like this question doesn't even make sense, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mythos, the closest thing he has to meditation is probably like a hangover.
Right. Yeah, just passing out in your bed. Also, I mean, there's so many like just low shots in this. In this movie, I don't know if we want to watch this clip as well of them talking.
Do it.
Because yeah, this is when Mythos explains the sanctuary. So let's watch this and talk about it. So
Sanctuary.
that's right. Boom.
I need to know if you're still alive, Mythos.
You know a little about Buddhist monks.
Blah,
Some
blah,
of
blah,
them
blah.
tend to cherish life so much that to step on a single insect or harm a blade of grass becomes a violation of their creed. So they place themselves in an extreme form of protective custody. A sanctuary of sorts.
Sanctuary.
Well, for an immortal who comes to abhor the bloodshed, there's a similar solution.
A ball.
A way to be removed from the game forever. The
Huh?
price is unimaginably high, but you are, for all practical purposes, protected from the violence within you. And it's called the Sanctuary.
Connor would never do that.
Are you sure? It's been around since before you were born. At least until last night.
What happened last night?
It was annihilated.
What? My brain is annihilated. Okay, so
All right. All right. Lots of thoughts on that.
there's a lot.
Who wants to start?
I'll
like-
start. Fuck
yeah,
this.
yeah.
Listen, all right.
Oh,
So it's
pulling out-
he drops the line. This thing's been around since before you were born. Where is the goddamn sanctuary? If it's in America before Mac was born, is like what?
It could move,
Oh, okay. It could move.
or there could be multiple like. It could change over time. I can
Okay.
accept that. I agree that it couldn't really be like a New World location in like 1590s, but
Sure.
so that's kind of point one. This is where in the theatrical cut, which you can see on, which is the version on like HBO right now, Mythos does explicitly say it's on holy ground here,
Yes.
and that's the edit that was made. But so did he know Connor was there the whole time and just hasn't told Duncan?
Exactly. Right.
Like, has Mythos had this information for a decade and just kept it under his hat?
Yep.
That's what it
I
seems
guess
like.
so.
And
Yeah.
also decided not to call Mac. Like he's like, by the way, yesterday, the entire place was annihilated. Your kinsman was probably murdered in his sleep, and I wasn't gonna tell you, but I'm glad you stopped by. Like,
Yeah.
what?
Thanks. Also, what is Mythos's role in the Watchers
Yes.
at this point?
I thought he had quit or
In
was
the-
like on the
in the-
run or like right.
Yes, I think so. Like, I think we're supposed to think that he is no longer a Watcher. So how and why does he have this information?
I don't
Like,
know.
maybe he got this information when he was a Watcher, but like, how does he come to find out about it being annihilated? Like, all this stuff
Mhm.
is very puzzling to me. And it's not like they establish why he would know this to begin with in this movie. But like, I don't know, whatever. It's a MacGuffin.
Yeah.
This guy just knows. They come talk to him. But it's inconsistent with the mythology of the show,
Yeah.
which is so strange.
I hate when they just introduce like concepts into like properties like this that are like earth shattering, like
Right.
or it's like in Rise of Skywalker when Poe Dameron's just like somehow Palpatine has returned, and it's like
What?
this
The dead
sanctuary.
rise.
Yeah, this sanctuary thing's always been here. I don't know what you're talking about. Like,
And then also, just the
You're
the
just huffing,
description the description Mythos gives of why Connor is there seems wrong, right? The description,
in a way.
the description,
Go on.
the Connor gives this description. He seems to imply that these people are volunteers who are there to escape, like the violence they may perpetrate
Right.
in their own lives, and that is why they are there. With this whole Buddhist monk analogy, is that why Connor is there? Like, he seems to think he's there because everyone, like the rest of the movie seems to want us to think that he's there to escape because everyone he gets close to dies.
Right.
But isn't that kind of true of all immortals? That like he's just sad, and like he doesn't want to get close to other people who will one day die. But that's not the same as like escaping the violence within himself. Like, it doesn't sound like he's flinching from the fact that like he's had to kill other immortals or something.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I think they're related though. Like, certainly him having a violent life brings violence to others. However, like, I do perhaps disagree with you saying that like, oh, he's doing this because of like the sadness. I think in this movie, it's posited that Connor McLeod literally believes he's cursed. And a curse, like that a curse follows him. And the only way to like prevent the curse from hurting other people is to, you know, hide away. And of course, I guess the curse is true because all those people he hit out with all got murdered. So
yes,
yeah,
it didn't even
the
work.
curse is
Even
named
that didn't
Jacob
work.
Kell,
Yeah.
who's just been chasing him this whole time.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know if it's as much about the sadness, although that gets conflated later, I think, when we talk about like, it would seem that Connor's like a real tragic hero in this. Like, he's given up, I think.
right.
Yeah, he is a beaten man when this movie begins.
Yeah. Interesting.
But
Also, I will make mention. Yeah, go ahead, Eamon.
Mythos is like Rachel was the impetus for him to do this. Like,
Right.
Yeah,
Rachel
he even says
blowing
like
up.
Connor, like also he knows Connor. Like Connor told me how much Rachel meant to him. It's like, what?
Yeah, what?
Why
Like,
is
they know each other,
Yeah.
making it even more egregious that he does not tell Mac.
Yeah.
Right?
Why is Mythos, or why is Connor confiding in Mythos and not Duncan?
Yeah, right? He tells him nothing.
What sense does this make?
Also, like, just the concept that Connor knows about Mythos at all is nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I thought the whole point is that it's like a jealously guarded secret that this guy is the oldest immortal Mythos. Like,
Right.
ah,
Makes no sense.
To your point, Kyle, about isn't he like the oldest, like immortal, all this sort of stuff. Like, again, putting myself in the shoes of someone that is like coming into this fresh, or someone that's like a fan of Highlander 1, let's say, but maybe not the series. Suddenly, Duncan goes to this dude who's like, I'm fucking 5,000 years old, bro. I feel like I'd be like, as a 13-year-old boy, be like on the edge of my seat, being like, holy shit, like, this is cool. Like, who's this new guy? Oh, he's like hardly in the movie at all, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And his age is irrelevant. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this character doesn't need to be Mythos at all. I don't know. I feel like it's just like very cool thing they've introduced to the viewers and then just drop. Also,
again,
this is an insane thing. Hold on, one more thing. One more thing. I'm so sorry, everybody. I, no joke, believe this is the first time we find out Duncan's last name, which is like, he's like Duncan McLeod. And again, not knowing anything about the movie, you would be like, oh, he's related to Connor. Interesting. Like 25 minutes into the movie, we find out that these two people are related. Like, I know it seems stupid, and it's a very easy thing to take for, I bet it's an easy thing to take for granted. Like, well, of course they're related, but like, watch. I urge all our fans to go watch any movie where you think like familiar relationships or whatever from past things are probably like known to everybody. I guarantee you those good scripts make mention of it to really orient the audience to what's going on. And this doesn't. So
I guess we knew that they were friends, but well, depending on what cut you watch.
Right.
If you're watching the theatrical cut, you actually just met Duncan MacLeod for the first time, and then you immediately find out he's related to Connor.
Oh, I guess so.
So
Right.
in the theatrical cut, that issue does not exist. Because within a minute or two of seeing Duncan MacLeod for the first time, you see this scene with
Right.
In the other version, I guess you see the two of those characters like buddying around for a minute before, without explicitly hearing the names.
Right.
But
I know it's a small point to bring up, but
Yeah.
it's like this movie is just full of so many weird inconsistencies, and it just like it's so hard to find your footing. To understand any of this stuff.
So in keeping with our tradition of trying to think like, what would you be thinking seeing this for the first time? Now that we've watched this movie like 4 times each, I'm sure.
Sure.
The note I had here was, I would be excited here because I would think this was going to be like a posse movie.
Right.
Like Kell has a posse. Mac is going to like accumulate his own posse, and then there's going to be a big fight at the end with Connor and Mac and Mythos and whatever other people they might put on the good side of the scale. And that's why these other goons are there, is to give Mythos something to do.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, that just sorry, good.
But of course, that's not, spoiler, that is not what happens in this movie. But that is something I might have been excited about watching this for the first time.
Yeah, I had that in my notes in a similar way later. Like I was like, I don't understand how the final showdown at the end isn't like Connor versus Kell and maybe Duncan versus Jin K. Like, especially with the martial arts aspect, it's like, it seems like Duncan's the guy that would take on Jin K. Like those guys are paired. And the same way also like Connor and Kell, like that's the story, man, not Duncan and Kell. Like they don't have a history
they have the
together.
Emotional connection.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, I very much like your idea, Kyle, that this should be a posse movie, right?
That's what it felt like it was driving towards.
Yeah. But no, not at all. Awesome. So that I guess brings us to the end of this episode's coverage. How many scenes did we get through this time, guys?
I guess 2, unless you count the cop scenes. There are like a bunch of little things that I don't think you would count as a full scene.
Right.
But
we saw the sanctuary scene, and now we saw the Duncan, I guess, get some info, right? Some exposition has been given here. Okay.
Get some mythos.
It's some mythos. Very good. Well, before we go on, I think it's time to play a game.
Hey.
Okay,
Game
guys.
time.
That's right. It is game time. All right. Here we go. So for the game this week, we're going to be playing a very special edition of True or False Highlander.
Okay.
I know this is going to be tricky. So I did some cool edits, and I'm going to play a clip, and you guys just have to let me know if you think this is true or false. Kyle, you are up first.
I'm playing clips. You're playing clips.
I am playing clips.
Interesting.
Absolutely.
I'm fascinated by this.
You should be fascinated. I think it's going to be fascinating. So
right,
here's the first clip. You can tell us if this is true or false. Name 3 other Christopher Lambert movies that aren't Highlander.
Other means I can't name whatever Eamon named.
That's correct.
Okay. Mortal Kombat Annihilation, Hail Caesar, Greystone.
Yes. Although, is Lambert in Annihilation?
Yes.
Okay, Kyle, you answered that very confidently.
He sacrifices his immortality to fight with the heroes of Earthrealm.
Oh, good.
Oh.
All right, that's the first clip. Is that true or false?
I mean, the fact that you just played it back to me makes me think it's false, but I'm going to say
you think
true.
it's You think it's still true?
I'm gonna stick to my guns and say it's true. I've received no new intel that makes me think it's false.
Okay, Eamon, would you like to perhaps steal a point from Kyle and think is that true or false?
I think it's false.
Oh, you think it's false? Eamon, you have won the game. Kyle, there has been a scandal in the Highlander Rewatched gaming community. Christopher Lambert is not in Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Oh my gosh. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but what do you have to say for yourself?
He's not really.
He is not.
I'm having.
Eamon, do you know who plays Raiden?
I only know this from Facebook comments. James Remar?
James Remar.
What?
Friend of Clay Barris, correct? I believe.
Oh,
what?
Yeah. I think he directed him in some stuff. So Christopher Lambert is not in that movie, which I don't know if it's worth us redoing our entire Endgame coverage to fix this problem or what.
I mean, I don't know what to say other than Google confirms what you're saying. So I'm obviously wrong.
I know what you can say, Kyle. I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't know that I'm sorry.
I'd be sorry. How do you think? I think you should address the fans, and you should address Eamon more specifically.
Eamon, I danced. I very arrogantly danced on your grave after I buried you in that game, and that was premature. I think that game, actually, I would have lost 2 points from that. So you actually would have won that game.
I know. That's why it's such an upset, right?
We have to re-record all our episodes.
We have to go back to the gathering and start all over again.
Eamon, how do you feel now? Do you feel,
I feel like a great weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
This is all fair.
I'm sorry, Kyle, to tease you about that. But people jumped all over that shit on Facebook. I was like, uh-oh, what happened?
Whoops. I will also point out, just as an odd factoid, that the music to that movie was written by George Stanley Clinton.
Not to Mortal Kombat Annihilation?
Yeah, not to be confused with George Clinton.
What?
Weird.
Wow, that's very interesting or bizarre.
Odd, but so not the funk musician, but another George Clinton.
Wow.
Anyway.
That's fantastic. I'd also like to point out, I think we were all able to successfully name more Fairley Brothers movies at the top of this episode than we were Christopher Lambert movies, which is good. Whoops. True. Very good. And that's how you play. I don't know.
That's the whole game.
The whole game is just calling me out.
Yeah, that was it. Well, no, okay. It's done a lot of damage. I think there needs to be at least a week to heal. But I'm glad
we'll have a period of reconciliation.
Exactly. Yeah. So. All will be made right, but that's the game. That was it. Just calling you out.
Game.
Yeah.
Very good.
I've never seen Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
It's got the centaur in it.
Yeah.
Motaro.
Okay.
I read online that they did a test screening and everybody loved it, so they didn't finish any of the special effects and just released the test screening.
Whoa.
That's an interesting choice.
Yeah.
That is.
It's got Jax.
I love Jax.
Sure. Wow, you'll love this movie then.
James Remar's Mortal Kombat.
James Remar's Mortal Kombat. All right.
Wow,
Chris
fantastic.
Lambert's James Remar's Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
All right, so let's wrap this up. So we've now done 2 more scenes. How are we feeling about this movie? Like, is it coming together for you guys? Are you excited for where it's going? Like, is this a mystery you want to know about, or like, I don't know?
No.
It was just like, no, not at all.
It's so odd. Like, the movie just gets stranger and stranger as it goes, and it's weird to think that the flashback scene might be the high watermark of this film.
Yeah.
Like that flashback might be as good as it gets in this movie. And unfortunately we've already talked about it. So it might all be downhill from here, frankly.
Yeah. I do want to just this is like going to become a hallmark of this, that I'm like, in our wrap up, I want to like go back into the movie because there's something I forgot to say, of course. I can't shut up. But in the I keep saying the alt cut, the rough cut of this movie, this scene with Mythos like ends with like Mythos has like a full glass of wine, and he's just like, he just dumps it over the ledge, and I'm just like, why? What are you doing? Like, why did he do that?
He's been day drinking and decides he has a problem.
Yeah, I shouldn't do this anymore. It's just so bizarre. I don't understand. It's like things just happen, and it doesn't make sense. This has been a troubling viewing experience for me personally. It's been very upsetting to watch all this come together. So Wow.
Well, this might end Keith, so.
That's right. Well, thanks everybody.
Highlander and Keith.
Yeah. Ooh, I love that. I gotta make a poster. Photoshop my head right onto the body. It'll look just like the real poster. So thanks everybody for joining us this week. If you have any comments on the episodes we've released thus far, send us an email at highlanderrewatched@gmail.com and let us know your thoughts or interpretations or any interesting factoids you might know about the production of this movie and how it all kind of came together. Drop us a line. We'll hopefully be able to read it on air. We can't wait to talk more about this movie. We will see you next week. We've been your Rewatchers. I'm Keith.
This is Kyle.
This is Eamon.
Bye.
Bye.